Carl Gustav Jung, the brilliant Swiss psychologist, forever changed our understanding of the human mind and the connection between the conscious and the unconscious. According to Jung, healing our inner pain is not merely a psychological act, but a profound spiritual process that transforms us entirely. When we dare to confront that pain, we embark on a journey into the unknown, toward the most hidden and powerful parts of our psyche. This journey, though challenging, is the key to living an authentic life filled with purpose and meaning. When we experience inner pain, we often seek to avoid it. We distract ourselves with work, superficial relationships, or anything that allows us to escape those uncomfortable emotions. However, Jung taught us that pain is not something to fear or reject. Rather, it's an invitation to look within ourselves and uncover the truths we've ignored. Imagine your mind as a vast landscape. Some parts are bright, filled with joy and clarity, but others are shrouded in shadows, hiding fears, traumas, and unresolved emotions. Those shadows don't disappear just because we ignore them. On the contrary, they grow stronger. According to Jung, our task is to illuminate them, integrate them, and learn from them, because only when we accept who we are in our entirety, including our shadows, can we truly live fully. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you felt like you're carrying an invisible weight, something you can't quite explain, but that's always there? That weight might be the pain of past experiences, emotions you couldn't express, or aspects of yourself you've rejected because they don't fit the image you want to project. Jung said that these repressed parts form what he called the shadow, and healing spiritually means confronting it. The shadow isn't your enemy. In fact, it's a part of you that longs to be recognized. If you've ever felt drawn to certain destructive patterns, toxic relationships, or decisions that don't make rational sense, it's because your shadow is trying to get your attention. It's like a small child who, when ignored, starts to shout and make noise. Jung invites us to listen to that cry and decipher its message. When you begin to heal your inner pain, extraordinary things happen. First, you start noticing changes in how you relate to yourself. That critical voice in your head, the one that constantly judges you and tells you you're not enough, begins to soften. Instead of judging yourself, you start to understand yourself. That understanding turns into acceptance, and acceptance becomes self-love. This internal shift doesn't just affect how you feel, it also changes how you relate to others. Perhaps you've had relationships where you feel like you're always giving more than you receive, or maybe you've experienced connections that leave you emotionally drained. Jung explained that these dynamics reflect our inner wounds. Healing them not only transforms those relationships, but also changes the kinds of people we attract into our lives. An essential aspect of this process is the connection with what Jung called the self, or the true self. This isn't the superficial self that seeks approval from others, but a deep, wise, and authentic essence we all carry within. The self is like a lighthouse in the midst of a storm, guiding us toward peace and clarity. But to access it, we must confront our shadows and transcend the masks we've created to fit into the world. Spiritual healing is an act of courage. It's looking in the mirror and accepting everything you see, even the parts you'd rather hide. But in that act of acceptance, you discover a freedom that can't be described with words. It's as if, for the first time, you allow yourself to be completely you, without fear of judgment or disapproval. Carl Jung understood that this process doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey that requires patience, commitment, and above all, honesty with yourself. As you delve deeper within, you begin to notice something incredible. Things in your external life start to change too. The people and situations that used to throw you off balance lose their power over you. Relationships become more authentic, and opportunities that truly resonate with you begin to manifest. This isn't a coincidence. Jung spoke of a concept called synchronicity, the idea that when you align your inner world, the outer world responds in unexpected and magical ways. It's as if the universe were waiting for you to connect with yourself, to open the right doors for you. And those doors don't just lead to new opportunities, they lead to a fuller, more meaningful life. One of the most fascinating and challenging concepts Carl Jung explored is the shadow. According to him, the shadow represents all the parts of ourselves we've rejected, denied, or repressed. These are the aspects of our personality we've chosen to hide because we believe they're unacceptable to others or even to ourselves. But Jung warns us, what we repress doesn't disappear. On the contrary, it lingers in our unconscious, influencing our actions, decisions, and emotions in ways we often don't understand. To heal spiritually, we must confront our shadow. This is a deeply introspective process where we acknowledge that we're not just the good and acceptable things we show the world, but also our insecurities, fears, and flaws. But here's the key. Our shadow isn't inherently bad. It's simply a part of us that's been ignored for too long. Imagine for a moment that your shadow is a companion who's been waiting patiently in the dark, longing to be heard. As you pay attention to it, you start to discover that within it lies a hidden treasure, your passions, your creativity, and your true potential. Integrating the shadow doesn't mean eliminating it. It means accepting it as part of yourself and giving it the place it deserves in your psyche. The unconscious is a powerful ally on the path to healing. Jung described the unconscious as an infinite source of wisdom. Within it reside not only our traumas and shadows, but also our greatest talents and latent abilities. It's in the unconscious where archetypes, those universal images we all share, reside, guiding our personal evolution. When you begin to heal your inner pain, the unconscious becomes your ally, sending you signals through dreams, intuitions, and emotions. Jung firmly believed in the power of dreams as a bridge between the conscious and unconscious. That's why paying attention to your dreams and reflecting on their symbolism is a powerful tool for advancing on your healing journey. For example, a recurring dream of being lost in a dark forest might symbolize feeling disconnected from your true self, but instead of fearing that forest, Jung would encourage you to explore it, because by facing the unknown, you uncover parts of yourself that have the power to transform your life. The wound as a source of healing is one of Jung's most transformative ideas. Our wounds aren't obstacles in our path, they're also our greatest opportunities for growth. Every wound we carry is like a door inviting us to look deeper within ourselves. But that door won't open while we try to avoid the pain. When we choose to face our wounds, something magical happens. Instead of seeing them as punishment or weakness, we begin to recognize them as sources of wisdom. For instance, if a failed relationship has left you feeling inadequate, Jung would say that wound is trying to show you a deeper truth, that your worth doesn't depend on others' approval, but on your connection with yourself. Spiritual healing doesn't mean eliminating pain, it means transforming it. It's like turning lead into gold, a process Jung compared to alchemy. This transformation requires patience and an unwavering commitment to your growth. But the result is a life that's not only fuller but also more authentic. Synchronicity is a confirmation of your progress. As you advance on this path, you'll start to notice something astonishing. Meaningful coincidences, or synchronicities, become more common in your life. Jung described synchronicity as the connection between external events and internal processes, a sign that you're aligned with your deeper purpose. For example, you might be reflecting on an important decision, and suddenly you come across a book, a conversation, or even a song that offers the clarity you need. These experiences aren't mere coincidences. They're the universe reflecting your connection with yourself. Synchronicity can also manifest in your relationships. As you heal your inner wounds, you begin to attract people who align with your new vibration. Toxic relationships lose their hold over you, and in their place, you find authentic connections that inspire and support you. The rebirth of the true self is what healing your inner pain is all about. It's an act of letting go of the old versions of yourself, those built on fear, insecurity, and external expectations, to make way for your true self. This process isn't linear or immediate. There will be days of doubt, setbacks, and challenges, but every step you take brings you closer to the person you were always meant to be. Jung reminds us that the purpose of life isn't to achieve superficial happiness, but to find wholeness. And that wholeness is only possible when you reconnect with your essence, integrate your shadows, and honor your truth. The journey towards spiritual healing isn't easy, but it's the most meaningful one you can undertake. Carl Jung taught us that facing our inner wounds doesn't just transform our personal lives, it also connects us to something far greater than ourselves. This healing process doesn't happen in isolation. It's as if every step we take toward our truth reverberates through the very fabric of the universe, altering not only our own experience, but also the lives of those around us. When you decide to look within, you begin to notice how your patterns and behaviors have been shaped by past wounds. Maybe you realize that to protect yourself, you've built an emotional armor that prevents authentic connections. Or perhaps you discover that certain fears, which seemed irrational, have deep roots in unresolved experiences. But instead of running from these realizations, Jung invites us to explore them with curiosity and compassion. The act of spiritual healing involves dismantling the masks we've created to navigate the world. Those masks, though useful at one time, no longer serve us. They distance us from our authenticity and perpetuate a cycle of disconnection. When you let these masks fall, something profound happens. You start to feel lighter, more at peace, more yourself. This transformation doesn't just affect your relationship with yourself. It also changes how you relate to others. The people who used to destabilize you emotionally lose their power over you. You begin to see them not as enemies, but as mirrors reflecting parts of yourself that need work. This shift in perspective is liberating. Instead of blaming others for your emotions, you take responsibility for your reactions and discover a level of empowerment you've never experienced before. Jung spoke of the importance of integrating all parts of our psyche to achieve a state of wholeness. This process, which he called individuation, isn't a destination but a lifelong journey. It's a commitment to knowing yourself, accepting yourself, and evolving. And though it can be challenging, the rewards are unparalleled. Once you reconcile with all parts of yourself, you find an inner peace that doesn't depend on external circumstances. One of the most noticeable changes you experience when you heal your inner pain is a renewed sense of purpose. You no longer settle for merely existing or meeting others' expectations. You start asking yourself what you truly want from life and what you can offer the world from your authenticity. This sense of purpose doesn't always appear immediately, but as you peel away layers of conditioning, it becomes increasingly clear. Connecting with your purpose also deepens your relationship with the transcendent. Jung believed the human spirit has an innate need to connect with something greater than itself. For some, this might mean a connection with the divine. For others, it could be a commitment to humanity, nature, or art. What matters is that this connection provides an anchor, a sense of meaning that sustains you even in the darkest moments. As you progress on this journey, you begin to experience what Jung called synchronicity. These seemingly coincidental events are actually expressions of the alignment between your inner and outer worlds. For example, you might be pondering a complex problem and suddenly encounter a person or a book that offers exactly the perspective you need. These moments aren't random. They're signs that you're on the right path, living in alignment with your essence. Synchronicity can also show up in your relationships. People who aren't aligned with your energy begin to drift away, and in their place, individuals who resonate with your new vibration appear. These connections are deeper, more authentic, and most importantly, they inspire you to be the best version of yourself. It's as if the universe responds to your decision to live from your truth by presenting you with opportunities and relationships that reflect that authenticity. As you move forward in this process, you may encounter moments of doubt or resistance. This is natural. Changing deeply ingrained patterns and facing our shadows isn't easy. But every time you choose to press on despite the discomfort, you strengthen your connection with yourself and the universe. This act of courage is transformative. It frees you from the invisible chains that have kept you trapped in the past and allows you to create a life that truly inspires you. The deepest change happens when you realize that the pain you've experienced wasn't in vain. Every wound, every challenge was a lesson in disguise. Through them, you've learned to know yourself, value yourself, and trust in your ability to overcome anything. This recognition transforms your relationship with the past. Instead of seeing it as a burden, you view it as the catalyst for your growth. As you integrate this new perspective, something wonderful happens. You begin to experience life more fully. Small moments, like a meaningful conversation, a sunset, or shared laughter, take on a new level of meaning. This shift isn't something you can measure or explain easily, but you feel it deep within your being. The true gift of spiritual healing is freedom. You're no longer trapped in destructive patterns or relationships that drain you. You allow yourself to be who you truly are, without apologies or the need for others' approval. This freedom doesn't just transform your life, it impacts those around you. Your authenticity inspires others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of transformation and connection. The spiritual transformation that emerges from healing your inner pain also manifests in a new way of seeing and relating to the world. It's as if, by integrating your shadows and connecting with your true self, you begin to experience life with a clarity you didn't think possible. Carl Jung described this phenomenon as an awakening of consciousness, a process that leads us to recognize not only our own complexities, but also the interconnectedness of everything around us. When you heal your inner pain, you start to notice how every experience, every relationship, and every challenge has a purpose. Instead of viewing the events of your life as accidents or mere coincidences, you begin to understand that they're all part of a larger process designed to help you grow and evolve. This perspective doesn't just fill you with gratitude, it also allows you to face challenges with newfound strength and resilience. One of the most significant changes you experience is the ability to be present. Before, your mind might have been stuck in the past, revisiting old wounds, or in the future, anticipating problems that haven't yet arrived. But as you heal within, you discover the power of the present moment. This presence isn't just a mental state, it's a deeply spiritual experience. It allows you to connect with life on a level that transcends daily worries. This state of presence also transforms your relationships. You no longer feel the need to impose your expectations on others or seek their approval to feel worthy. Instead, you approach them from a place of authenticity and empathy. This authenticity not only strengthens existing relationships, but also attracts new connections that resonate with your essence. These relationships are more meaningful, more balanced, and more enriching. At the same time, you begin to develop a healthier relationship with yourself. The self-criticism that might have once been a constant in your life is replaced by self-compassion. You recognize that, as a human, you're imperfect, and that's okay. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy of love and respect, especially the love and respect you give yourself. This internal shift creates a solid foundation from which you can build an authentic and fulfilling life. Carl Jung also spoke of the power of archetypes in our psyche. These universal patterns, like the hero, the sage, the creator, and the caregiver, exist within all of us and guide us through different stages of life. When you heal your inner pain, you allow yourself to access these archetypes with greater clarity. Perhaps you discover that right now, the hero archetype is calling to you, inviting you to face your fears and overcome the obstacles that have held you back. Or maybe it's the sage archetype, guiding you toward deeper introspection and self-understanding. These archetypes don't just influence how you see yourself, they also shape how you interact with the world. For example, by tapping into the creator archetype, you might find new inspiration for your projects, a spark of creativity that transforms not only what you do, but how you do it. This creative and authentic approach becomes an expression of your true self, enriching your life and the lives of those around you. Another crucial aspect of the healing process is learning to let go. This doesn't mean giving up or surrendering. It means releasing what no longer resonates with you. Maybe it's a relationship that's drained you, a job that no longer fulfills you, or a belief that limits your potential. Letting go can be painful, but it's also incredibly liberating. It's an act of faith in yourself and the universe, a declaration that you're ready for something better. When you let go, you create space for the new. It's like clearing an overgrown garden. By removing the weeds, you allow the flowers to bloom. This space isn't just physical or emotional, it's spiritual. It allows you to reconnect with your purpose, with the people who inspire you, and with the opportunities that truly enrich you. This process also teaches you the importance of boundaries. When you heal your inner pain, you realize that your energy is valuable and deserves to be protected. You learn to say no when something isn't aligned with you, without guilt or fear. This act of setting boundaries isn't a rejection of others, it's an act of self-love. By doing so, you not only honor yourself, but you also teach others how to treat you with respect. The transformation you experience through spiritual healing isn't just internal, it's reflected in your surroundings. You might notice that opportunities that once seemed out of reach now present themselves with ease, or that the people around you begin to change, inspired by your example. This effect isn't an accident. It's the result of living in alignment with your essence, of letting your authenticity shine and guide every aspect of your life. The process of healing your inner pain also connects you to something greater than yourself. Jung spoke of the collective unconscious, a network of knowledge, experiences, and symbols shared by all of humanity. As you work on yourself, you don't just benefit your personal life, you contribute to the growth and evolution of this collective network. It's as if every individual act of healing creates a ripple effect, touching the lives of others in ways you may never fully understand. As you progress on this journey of spiritual healing and transformation, you begin to notice how everything in your life seems to align more harmoniously. The pieces that once didn't fit find their place, and the challenges you face no longer feel so overwhelming. This doesn't mean life becomes entirely free of difficulties. It means you now have the inner tools to navigate it with confidence and serenity. Carl Jung taught us that true healing comes from within. By integrating our shadows, connecting with our unconscious, and living from our authenticity. This doesn't just transform our personal lives, it impacts the world around us. This impact isn't always immediately obvious, but over time, you start to notice that your environment changes too. The people, opportunities, and experiences you attract begin to reflect your inner growth. Ultimately, healing your inner pain isn't just an act of self-love. It's a gift to the world. Every time you choose to live from your truth, you inspire others to do the same. Every time you share your story, you open the door for someone else to reflect on their own path. This is the power of authenticity and human connection. It reminds us that, despite our differences, we're all on this journey together. You might be wondering now how to apply this knowledge to your daily life. The answer lies in small, consistent steps. Listen to your intuition. Reflect on your dreams. Seek moments of stillness to connect with yourself. And above all, allow yourself to feel. Every step you take toward your authenticity is a step toward a fuller, more meaningful life. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to be part of this collective transformation. This channel isn't just about sharing ideas, it's about creating a community where knowledge, reflection, and personal growth become a transformative force. Share this video with someone who needs it, someone searching for answers or needing a reminder that within them lies an immense power to heal and transform. Leave a comment below. Tell me which part of this message touched your heart or what action you're willing to take to align with your truth. Your words don't just inspire others who read them, they also help this content reach more people who could benefit from it. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming messages. Every time you share, comment, or engage, you're helping spread this message of transformation and authenticity. Remember, change begins with you. Every individual act of healing contributes to collective growth. You have the power to make a difference, not just in your life, but in the lives of those around you. This is your moment to take action, to share this wisdom, and to be part of a movement that seeks to awaken consciousness and heal the soul.